Oh, hello, and welcome to Al Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist. Oh, no, shit. Fuck.
Are you supposed to walk us in? Nah, I'm keeping it. Hi, I'm here too. I'm Kyle Cardy. I'm from Maple Syrup Blood Money.
Hi, I'm Noah Carden, and I'm also from Maple Syrup Blood Money.
Hey, fam.
Yo.
We're here to talk about Goose and Ghoulies.
Yes, because we're doing Monster Stock, where we discuss the value of monsters most creepy, but not yet most pasta. That's what I was supposed to
I do
add.
like that.
That's good. That's good. I like it.
I like that. That's tight. That's tight. Yeah, so here, what critter or bugaboo are we talking about today?
I believe we're talking about the Hidebehind.
Ah, yes, the classic Hidebehind. What is the Hidebehind, you might be wondering?
That is
that's what we're here to talk about. I mean,
Yes, exactly. Yes, very good. We're off to a great start, boys.
I mean, the name kind of gives it away.
Yeah, it sort of has just like the one trick.
Yeah, it hides behind things. And then
Yeah.
gets campers.
And then it grabs you,
Yeah.
and then you get grabbed by the ghoulied.
According to Wikipedia, it is a nocturnal, fearsome critter from American folklore that preys upon humans that wander too far into the woods.
That is true. So I guess, like, we sort of did this before, but not really when we talked about, I lost it. The Ravenmocker.
Ravenmocker, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so funny enough, I don't know how you want to structure this review, cultist, my mans, but much like the Ravenmocker, I am familiar with the Hidebehind, or the Behinder, as I have referred to it, because of my man, Silver John, who just is all about that American folklore.
Yeah, I really feel like I need to, like, acquire these stories and read them.
Oh, dog, they're so hard to find.
Yeah, that's the other issue. But yeah, like, because we did the Ravenmocker earlier, and then, like, it kind of opened up the floodgate for me for, like, all the different, like, fearsome critters or, like, Appalachian folklore monsters. I've actually been looking at a bunch of them, like the Gardenelle, which is basically the Dianai house, but, like, out in the woods.
But an owl? Okay.
What?
Dude, that's awesome. I am I've never heard of that one.
The Gardenelle?
So, the owl, not Dianai House.
Oh.
Everyone's heard of Dianai House.
Oh, no, the Gardenelle. It's... Like,
Oh, I thought you said garden owl, and I was like, that's misleading. I was like, oh, it's like the Dianai House, but an owl, I guess.
Holy shit. There's the next one that we gotta do. We gotta come up with.
The garden owl.
Yeah.
So how do we want to approach this? Do we want to, like, talk about whether you should buy or sell your stock in Hidebehind? Because I am very pro-buy.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we should probably, like, talk about, like, what the you guys have a little bit more knowledge, I guess, on the Hidebehind, the Behinder, and, like, the more rooted lore
just
of
like
that. And then we have that creepypasta that I was able to find. The one thing I was able to find about it, which isn't very good.
Oh boy, that's not good.
The plus side is short.
Tight. That's the best kind.
Yeah,
Noah.
it's like, yes.
I was just gonna say, what you got, homie?
So I have the Fearsome Critters 70th Anniversary Hypertext Edition open up right here.
Nice.
And so all of the pictures, like the one illustration I'm seeing for Hidebehind, it looks like a bear that's been crossed with, like, an incredibly shaggy dog.
Okay, I think I know the image I'm seeing because it's the same one on the wiki page.
Is that the one hugging the tree?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
To me, it looks like a bear, but it also looks like a bear crossed with an insect because of those big bulging things at the top of its head.
So this is one of those funny, do you see a rabbit, do you see a ducks? Because
exactly.
I see some goat horns.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Homeboy looks like he's a good boy and just needs some tummy rubs, though. Like,
Yeah. And I like how in the Fearsome Critters hypertext edition, it gives the Hidebehind, and then it gives a scientific name of Ursus dissimulans.
Hideus behindicus.
Yeah.
Ursus isn't Ursa
That's
like
bear.
Yeah,
Yes.
so they are basically going on. It's like a bear.
Yeah.
So I had actually a fun fact about this picture, because I've been enjoying planet Earth, and so my theorem for this hide behind interpretation is that basically after bears come out of hibernation and like as winter begins to give way to warmer climates, they have to shed their winter fur, and what that usually entails is the bear finding a tree and literally almost exactly like this image, grabbing it and just grinding up on it and going to town on it, to just like with their front side and their back side, just so that the bark will like pull the hair away. And so what I'm thinking is just like, the first reports of this might very well have just been people seeing bears participating in this activity. Exactly, this sort of grooming process to sort of scare them off, because like that picture is, sans the tail and the goat horns, basically exactly what a bear looks like during this process.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So,
and that's basically what lumberjack stories was like, trying to explain things they like saw or like got spooked about.
Yeah, and then like it gets embellished time after time, or it's just like straight up a native like cautionary tale of like, if you see this, like get away from it because it's dangerous, because either it's a monster or it's a goddamn bear.
Yeah. In the hide behind description, it describes it as a highly dangerous animal, but owing its intense aversion to the odor of alcohol, never known to attack and inebriate. So if you're drunk as a skunk, it won't get you.
You're fine.
I mean, I guess, okay.
Yeah.
It's just it's like, vampires garlic, werewolves silver, hide behind.
Yeah, but like
alcohol.
then you are straight up vulnerable to all the monsters that love eating drunk people, which there are many.
yes, there is.
It's crazy.
A biggish beast standing about 6 feet and walking erect. The slender body makes it possible to hide completely behind the bole of a 10-inch tree. The pelvis is long, thick, and black, and the tail is carried recurved. Looks like a French sheepdog's. Almost impossible to tell whether the critter is coming or going, and practically hopeless to locate its face, if any. The short, well-muscled forelegs are equipped with grizzly-like claws.
So it's just a poor, emaciated bear.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's
10-inch waist? These are unrealistic beauty standards for our bears.
Like, move aside, Slender Man. We have Slender Bear.
But, geez, I'm more scared of that than Slender Man.
Yeah, fuck Slender Man. Funny enough, there are a lot of associations with Hide Behind and Slender Man that I came across because their preferred methodology is so similar.
Yeah.
Its food is chiefly intestines.
For a second, I thought you were going to say cheese, and I was like, dude, yes. When are we going to get more monsters that eat cheese?
So the Urkel monster?
Dude, I set you up for the exact alley-oop that I was hoping you would do, and you took it to the hoop, and I'm so proud.
Please. Leaving from its hiding place with a demonical laugh, it swiftly disembowels its victim with one swipe. Sometimes the fiendish howl frightens the prey to death before the blow falls.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm always a big fan of death by fear, like terror effects.
Yeah.
That shit's always delightful.
The hide behind is never found in the open. He always conceals himself behind a tree trunk. His marvelously quick, stealthy gait makes it possible for him to stay constantly behind his prey, no matter how quickly the suspicious victim may spin about in the hope of glimpsing the marauder. The beast can go 7 years without eating.
Dang.
So, that is what we know from Fearsome Critters about the hide behind. And Kyle is dying.
Oh no, Kyle.
Well, I mute the mic for the audition, but I don't know if you guys can hear it through the Discord. But yeah, I was hacking up a lung.
Yeah.
So, audience, you heard nothing. Sorry to my fellow co-hosts. I have a very sore throat. So, all right. So, let's just turn into the theme of stocks. Like,
Yes.
we might as well. So, like, we'll give stocks a rating, just like the ticker tape on Walled Street. And let's keep it simple. -10 to +10. And, you know, much like regular stock, the lower the worse, and, like, the less we should do with it, the higher the better, and the more that we should invest in this creature. Do y'all agree to, like, that system?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So then what would we put the Hidebehind at? Like, what would you each put? And then I feel like the number that the market will rate it as is probably going to be somewhere between our three numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you think?
So right now, I'm noticing, like, especially since, like maybe around 2014 or so, there's been some increase in the Hidebehind. So I'm gonna put it at like maybe a +5 at the moment.
Okay, so a +5. So with the approaching Slender Man movie,
Oh
God.
exactly, like an actual Slender Man movie, and not that knockoff one that wasn't. See, so that's what's troubling me. The market could either be very vulnerable to a Hidebehind story being a breakaway success, or such close proximity could really hinder the Hidebehind's originality and accessibility because it's old hat and people have seen Slender Man before. So I'm a little more hesitant than you, so I think my Hidebehind is probably going to be a +3. I think it has potential, but it could tank.
That's fair.
Right.
That's fair.
Well, I was basing it more on again, like familiarity versus like originality, and actually kind of more close to like Noah's prediction with
Okay.
+5, primarily because it is kind of have the familiarity, like familial traits that like Slenderman has had in recent years, but it is an older like has like also kind of the Appalachian or like the older like Americana folklore angle. So you can kind of get people with
So
that.
like maybe it could be a period piece instead of a modern Slender Man tale,
Yes,
because he relies
exactly.
very heavily on technology as a crutch.
Whereas this guy just
Ooh.
basically hides, and then it's basically like more of a stalker kind of angle, or like survival in the woods. Also, the whole like aversion to alcohol, but like the favored intestine or like favored body part kind of thing, kind of lends it to like either like again you kind of get that familiarity thing or familial traits that you see in like vampires and werewolves and such. So you kind of have it plays off the different like.
It hits
It's
off a lot
familiar,
of
yet it's original, or it's familiar
Yeah.
yet it's different kind of thing. Like it's a little bit more creative.
It has a kind of classical monster setup where it likes this one thing, but it's weak to this other thing,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
you can kind
Yeah.
of defend or beat it by doing this one kind of thing.
which you can't really do with a Slender Man.
because he doesn't have a
So
weakness.
he's the Mary Sue of the monster community. Let's
God,
be
he
100%
is.
honest. And man, all right, hot take: Slender Man is at a solid -8. Please be done with him within the next 365 days. Thank you. So it sounds
Sell,
like Hidebehind. Sell. Wait,
So-
you want to buy low, sell high?
But that stock ain't going back up.
Yeah, that's about to
Unfortunately.
tank. That's Dunzo.
Yeah. You got to reinvest in the Hidebehind.
Hidebehind sounds like a solid 4.5 to me then, because you both had some very convincing arguments that brought me
So-
up to a 4.
So there's like, let me just get this out of the way real quick. There's also been some like pop culture kind of things
That's true.
thrown in with the Hide Behind recently. There was it's involved in the Harry Potter universe now.
Wait, what?
Yep.
So there's Ilvermorny, which is the American.
The American school. Oh,
Okay.
dag.
Okay,
oh,
it's
dag.
that's called Ilvermorn, right? Okay, I thought it was Livermorny.
It's Ilvermorny. So
No, that's just poor font selection.
Yep.
yeah.
Got it.
But yeah, it's apparently a part of like the Ilvermorny like wizarding school like story and things like that. And there's also a Gravity Falls short where Dipper explains the Hide Behind, which I tried to watch on YouTube, but I was stopped by the True Monster copyright.
No.
Oh, bummer.
I've actually seen that one. It's my first it's my first interaction with the Hide Behind, like as a creature. I thought it was actually something they made up because generally Gravity Falls tends to make up their monsters. But yeah, and also the monster looks nothing like a bear. It's like almost like a pumpkin head.
It's gaunt and emaciated.
Yeah,
it's like evil Groot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Evil Groot.
So, to further touch on sort of the background of the Hide Behind, like I mentioned before, there was the Silver John story that talked about the Hide Behind, and I believe I have it in front of me. It was the Desric on Yandro, which... So it's... How do I phrase this without coughing? So basically, the story sort of revolves around just like a hike. Like they get hired for a thing and they go on a hike, if memory serves. And basically, as they're walking up this mountain, they talk about all these different, like boogans and monsters and stuff like that, and like how an elephant is different than a behemoth, and like all these different critters. And they talk about the Behinder, and then they notice that they are being followed by a Behinder. But in this iteration, what I always found really interesting is that no one has ever been able to see a Behinder. Like, there is no... They flat out ask John, they're like, so what does it look like? And he's like, shit, I don't know. Like, that's its whole thing, dummy. And so... But it's implied in the story that it also has, like, hooved feet, because as they're going up the trail, they see a lot of hooves. But there's other monsters in the story, so they might belong to that. But, hooved critters, being someone who grew up near the Jersey Devil, I always associate them with monsters. So for a while, I was like, oh yeah, a Hide Behind or a Behinder has hooves. And then basically at the very end of it, the Behinder just like jumps on one of their traveling companions and just carries him away. There's no evisceration or anything like that. He just gets carried away, and a bunch of other monsters come out of the forests and follow the Behinder as it drags him away. And then Silver John's just like, oh, well, okay. I turned around and saw it, and that was the worst thing that I've ever done. And I'm not going to describe what it looked like. Goodbye. And then that's basically where it ends.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Yeah, he pulled like a Lovecraft thing where it's just like, it was horrible, but I'm not going to even endeavor to describe it. It's like, oh cool.
So wait, they didn't even bother trying to help his friend? They're just like, oh no, he's gone.
Okay, so Silver John, he does not do that very often. If once something's got you, more often than not, Silver John's like, actually, fuck this.
So what you're saying is, so not only does he the story pulling off a Lovecraft, but he's also kind of predating John Carpenter with Big Trouble in Little China, where they're in that tunnel underground, and something just comes out of the wall, grabs a guy, and throws him back into the hole, and they just ignore that. It's like, all right, well, he's gone. It's like, what was that? What was that?
Yeah, basically, yes, big time. Like,
Jesus
there are
Christ.
times where he will go and help people, but like he's not gonna like risk his neck in what he knows is an unwinnable confrontation, which this one very much was.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's why Silver John keeps living, because he's a smarty. But yeah, so that's basically all the background that I had was that, like, around here there's not really any stories of the Behinder. So it was John and then more recently Gravity Falls. I think there was a movie for a Hide Behind recently, but like within the past decade. But I did not see it.
I know there was a book, I think, written 2006, a horror suspense novel by Charles Snellings.
That might be it.
And it was literally called The Hide Behind, and it was about people on the Salmon River in Idaho being stalked by the creature.
Yeah, it sounds like this critter is far away from, like, where I live, which is good, because I do like a good nocturnal hike through the forest.
Well, you have enough creatures as it is, like, on the East Coast, too. So.
I mean, yeah, I got my own shit to worry about. I'm saying I don't need one more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I found a link in the Fearsome Critters Hypertext Edition to Lakeshore Kearney's The Hodag and Other Tales of the Logging Camps.
Oh, yeah.
Where he gives a story about a hide behind. Strange to relate, the meals of the hide behind are composed of the bowels of human beings and the intestines of hell divers. After the vicious animal has partaken of a meal to his liking, he utters a demoniacal laugh. It disembowels his victim, bringing out the entrails, raising them to its head for the purpose of smelling them before eating. Should there be any scent of liquor in the entrails, the animal will throw them back into the face of the victim, and with a horrible laugh, vanish into the forest. Like...
Well, I mean, it's like they say, Noah, you eat with your eyes and nose before you eat with your mouth.
Jeez.
What a little dick! Like this snobby motherfucker. My intros aren't good enough for you?
Yeah.
Dick? That would be the shittiest way to die, huh?
Yeah.
Having your intestines thrown back at you. It's like, I can't even eat this. You've been drinking.
It's like, oh, I'm good enough to kill, but I'm not good enough to eat, you fucking Mormon monster.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, we've also found a creepypasta about it too.
Yes, I am excited to hear it.
Oh dear God. Okay, so I'll do a rundown, very brief. It's only like half a page. You can check it out at creepypasta.wiki. It's by Anonymous. That's always a good sign. So this guy and his brother would, whenever they'd get home late at night for dinner, their dad would warn them of tales of the hide behind, like a creature in the woods that would basically stalk you, and like you'd only see it at the corner of your eye, and only when it got late at night. And then it would scare him as a kid, like this whole thing. It would actually keep them from going into the woods too late at night and stuff like that. But eventually he grew up and found himself lost in the woods, just as sun was going down. And he started seeing, like, at the corner of his eye, something, like, kind of stalking him, or, like, just hiding in the woods. And at first he thought it was, like, a deer, or just his paranoia from those old stories. But then he, like, started looking back, and, like, the one time, like, he saw it, like, dash behind a tree before he could get a good look. The second time, he saw, it stayed out for, like, a few seconds in plain view, and then hid out behind. And that's when he started running.
Okay. Does he describe the critter or nah?
He does not really describe the critter. It's just it's the hide behind. It's a dark shape darting behind trees. And, even though it was made itself known to him, for a few seconds before jumping back into hiding, it doesn't really describe much. He's running, looks like he falls and then starts crawling, and he doesn't know how he survived the night, but what willpower he had, he made it back to civilization somehow, and he's never going back into the woods again.
Great.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Good job, Randolph Carter.
Yeah. At least it wasn't, and I've been dead the whole time.
And I am typing this from hell.
Man, hell has some good internet.
When that shit happens, that's an immediate, like, if we're doing a 10-point scale, that's an immediate 4-point doc for me.
Yeah.
Like, you can't write yourself into a corner or just, like, create a compelling situation and then be like, I don't know how I got out, but I done did it. It's like, okay, cool. I don't want to read your stuff ever again, actually.
Like, what pisses me off with the story is that like it starts off like a hide behind story, and then like there's
Yeah.
that part where like he's out there for a second, but like we don't get a description. It's just he's out in the open. It's like ooh hello, and then whoop, and it's like well that's not what a hide behind does. And then also like you write yourself in the corner. You had something you could write. It was like luckily luckily I'm a booze hound and I happen to have like some kind of
I loved the drink.
yeah. It's like god damn it.
But like, so like this, from what you're telling me, it sounds like this story is just rife with like the tritest tropes in all of creepypasta, which is just like the monster always has to, just before it pounces on you, it has to make itself visible just for a couple seconds before disappearing. It's like,
but then it
I don't know how I got away. Yeah, like the monster does not always need to make this appearance anonymous. Like, sometimes it's okay for it not to taunt you. Sometimes it can taunt you in different ways if it absolutely has to do that. But sometimes a monster is more terrifying if it just does its job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of thinking if I was to do a hide behind story, like the escape would be basically, the person was drunk off their ass, and as the thing like gets them, is about to like disembowel them, they scream, and just the pure stench of alcohol scares it away.
That's delightful.
Like it's like literally like it's like right next to him, and like he starts breathing heavily, and then it's like oh god, just basically his foul like drunk breath just basically throws it off.
There's a lot of gross ways that we could reach that very same effect, but like I love that idea because like the sooner that the stink of alcohol gets out of your body, the better, because if it gets your intestines and then smells it, then it doesn't matter if it doesn't kill you because it already killed you.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know on Al Dente Rigor Mortis you usually construct a new like story tell. Do we want to do that on Monster Stocks, or do we just want to give advice to the market looking to invest in a hide behinder?
It's actually funny because it's actually the reverse. Monster Stock, I make a creepypasta, and then like Al Dente we suggest things. But
was Ravenmocker the first Monster Stocks we did?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is actually the second episode of Monster Stocks for Al Dente Rigor Mortis.
Oh, okay, that's why I'm all tripped up. Then yes, shall we construct this like critter to help improve its market share?
Yes, I believe so.
So as always, buy quality endings. Buy, I'm going to suggest buy never seeing the monster.
Yeah, like maybe like a psychological horror kind of thing. Like I mean, paranoia like could be written really well.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole paranoia angle of like you're being stalked, but you can't see the creature that's hunting you, but you know you're being stalked. Like,
let's set it in. I would like to say buy bears, because what if this person buy bears? I would like to say, what if this person is familiar with like bear shedding habits, and it's like set just as spring has sprung, and like the bears are active, but that might give sort of like credence to this person being cautious and like the questioning, like, is it a bear? No, this laugh is something else maybe, but I am very drunk. Like, I don't know what it is, but, we sort of give something that isn't just immediately, oh God, there's a monster in the forest. Like, you're in danger no matter what, but it might be mundane or it might be supernatural.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, and also for the character himself, I was trying to think of like an idea for like what the character, like why he's on a bender and apparently in the woods.
Logging camp. Logging camp.
I was thinking logging camp. I also up here, sorry, I don't know if you guys have them up down there as much, but up here along our like side or back roads and whatnot, we have a lot of truckers who just like park off to the side for the night.
That happens sometimes around here, but I've seen it on road trips.
Yeah. Now the drinking thing kind of is the only other issues because like he has to have alcohol in order to survive this, otherwise he's not surviving.
Have you ever met a long haul trucker?
I'm not experienced, so yeah, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Maybe we make our character instantly unlikable.
All right, cool. So he's a
Because
truck
then
driver.
people might be rooting for them to die.
Yeah. So our character could just be like some drunken asshole trucker who this is like a redemptive story.
right?
No, because he doesn't fucking learn anything. His drunk driving saves him.
Shit, right, you're right. But maybe wait. What if though at the very end, like he doesn't realize that it's the drink that saved him, but like anybody who's the reader
Okay.
would know. But I mean, if they're familiar with the Hidebehind, but
Yeah.
Okay, I like the subtleties involved with that. Okay, all right, I can buy into that. And like the truck breaks down, but like he sees the lights of a town. Like he's on a larger hill. He sees the lights of a town down in the valley, and he's got to walk, through it to get it. And his drunk dumbass mind, he decides to take a hiking trail instead of staying on the main road because
Yeah.
fuck it.
yeah, because the road probably like winds through some hills and stuff, and then like just going straight down the hill is
It'll be
better,
faster.
quicker. Yeah,
So
He
I
addresses
know-
it's more dangerous, but it is faster.
yeah,
And it's cold as shit, so he'll freeze if he walks.
So I was also thinking like maybe following like power lines, because if power lines go through like a forest, they'll have like this huge cutout path.
yep.
Oh, but then where?
And-
So then maybe the hide behind is on his flank instead of his behind.
Yeah, it'd be on a flank, or I've seen like types of power lines where it's just like posts. It's just this thing can hide behind like a super tiny tree,
yeah,
like
I
hiding
was-
behind a telephone post or something like that would be pretty easy as well.
All right, I'm in on that. That's hot.
Also, perhaps even adding some like supernatural credence to the Hidebehind. Have him like looking back and like seeing something like shirk behind one of those posts, but then like trying to figure out like how the hell have I not been able to find? How is this thing like moving from like post to post? Like it's out in the open. Like how the hell is it just like appearing behind posts as you're going?
Yeah.
like-
so- okay.
Weird, right?
So it starts in the forest,
And, then
and that way the hide behind has a lot of clearance, and that's where we put our bear theory in. And he's like, I gotta go and do this stuff, and like just like either be loud or be quiet, whichever thing maybe you're supposed to
So-
do with bears. And then when it gets to the clearing, then he's like, nope, something is very fucking wrong. This is not a bear.
So I had another idea for our protagonist, and that is just some drunken asshole who drove off the road,
okay.
Yeah.
just into the woods, and now he has to stumble his way back into town.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that a lot. All right. Yeah, let's step away from the trucker and let's just
Yeah.
have some dickhead who deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not villainize the trucking industry. That's
Yeah, they're hardworking people who do dangerous jobs, but and I feel like a lot of their characteristic and like the way that stories
They're portrayed.
usually make them look is like horny drunk assholes. So
Yeah.
that's no good. So drunk driver, his name is Chad,
of course has to be.
and it's gotta be, or Chaz. CHA is vital.
Or no, CHAZ.
Yes. How does Chaz know about Bear? Fuck it. He watched he watched it. He likes nature documentaries or some shit.
Not
He
even
always-
nature documentaries. He's watched monster or mountain monsters.
Yeah, he watched Finding Bigfoot.
yeah,
Man, Bigfoot's
bear
probably
man.
just a bear, huh?
he's watched Bear
Man.
Grylls.
Fucking Bear Grylls. Whatever happened to that guy? Anyway, so he's wandering through. I think that that opening part is a lot of that, like, is it a bear? We get to the posts, and he's like, oh, okay, good. Like, now I'll be able to see anything sneaking up on me. I'm getting closer. So then what's our big gloom, so to speak? Like, when does it all go wrong?
Maybe he knows because the hide behind it has like these big like grizzly bear claws.
Yeah,
So he notices that like when it moves, it leaves like these big like gashes on like the posts. So he starts getting scared. He starts to run, runs back into the forest and falls off.
Can I have a counterpoint, and then we still have him fall off a cliff? What if? All right, so listen. Oh yeah, listen. Like let's kill him at the end.
Yeah,
and
sure.
this'll. No, we can't do that because then we fall prey to the same thing we dunk on all the time.
Also, he's drunk. He can't die unless he fell off. He died of his own volition and fell off a cliff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like froze to death.
Oh shit!
But then, well, actually, if we wrote this in like the parlance of. No, I don't like lost tape stories. Never mind. So anyway, he'll live. So he's walking through the forest and I think this is the most clutch shit. So hold on to your butt, and I hope it's good. He does occasionally turn around and he does notice those big gouges on the stuff around and behind him. But then he turns around and he sort of does that lean forward and squint to the pole that was nearest behind him, and he sees the big gouges. And then when he turns back around, because this is important, he turned his whole body to look at the post behind him. And then when he turns around to look back at the post in front of him, a gouge is in there where there was not one before. And that's where he says, "Oh fuck, it is in front of me," and then he runs into the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also counterpoint. So we're talking these poles and whatnot, and that go through the woods like they're wood. The ones near me, anyways, out in the woods, are generally made of the metal ones, like the large, they're thick metal bars and stuff.
Yeah,
that.
like the crossbars and shit.
So what if as he's walking through the clearing and stuff like that, he's safe, and then he starts hearing a scraping sound behind him, as it's the claws are just scratching against the post or against the metal.
Oh,
the bars. And he looks back and
that's good. That's good.
We can have the best of both worlds. So these monster power lines, these super industrial rustic power lines, because that's how the big clearing power lines look by me.
Yeah.
But then these power lines might also, at a certain point, break off in the direction of the town. So we have this large one and this small one, and then we can have 3 different landscapes for our story with all 3 effects. Because, let's face it, this whole story basically just revolves around a walk. And we need to diversify the walk.
Yeah.
I love that. So now we have auditory horror, we have visual horror, and we have proximity horror. And those are all huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was also
Don't forget, kids, diversify your walks.
Yes.
Yeah, just that's just a good... You know what? Buy diversity in your stories. Just all around.
Please.
Diversify everything in your story. Diversify the twists, diversify the monsters, diversify the characters, diversify the locations. Just stop writing the same goddamn story.
Point is, always reassess your story writing and edit. Please, God, edit.
Yes, edit. And one of my personal favorites is, this is some of the best advice I've ever received from any design or writing standpoint. Kill your darlings. Whatever thing you really, really love, don't be afraid to get rid of it if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so important. Kill your darlings.
Yeah. It may have helped you get the idea down, but if your story evolves to the point where it's no longer needed, you can get rid of it.
Bingo. So then, walking through the woods, monster power lines, regular power lines, run away, fall down cliff. I'm going to say break ankle, because fuck this guy. He needs to be punished.
I was also thinking with game, if we want to kill him off right after the get-go, if he knows that alcohol is a bait or something like that, maybe he doesn't. He falls in a river and gets a little bit more sober on top of being terrified.
That's a possibility, but I was thinking he stumbles down a small cliff. It's more like
an embankment.
A rocky embankment kind of thing in the woods.
Yeah. The thing that everyone falls down in horror movies set in woods.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Bust up his ankle, his leg, maybe bust some ribs or something like that.
We could just break his wrist. Like, break his wrist and delocate his shoulders. That way he can still walk to the town, but, like, he does still have a permanent injury now for his stupidity.
And, he's laying there, like, terrified, trying to get up, and then that's when it's, like, it's on him.
Yep. It's on him.
And,
now, the question is, does he breathe in its mouth, or does he pee-pee in his pants?
Ooh. Why not both? No.
I was thinking that.
Because, also, and then here is another one that maybe we avoid the pee-pee, but, like, maybe the drunkenness. Okay, all right. He gets hurt. He rolls down this hill. The rolling is important. Still very drunk. Before he even stops rolling, he is grabbed by the Hidebehind and, pinned against the tree. But the drunkenness and the motion and the rolling and the sudden stop of the rolling is so disorienting that it is enough to make this very drunk person just yak on the Hidebehind.
Yeah.
I do kind of like that. Yeah.
And he's so bleary-eyed by the whole, everything just kind of culminating there. He never actually gets an entirely good look, but we does get a slight description of the creature.
We just get the shagginess.
Yeah. It wasn't a bear. It was very shaggy, and it had, like a large snout.
Yeah. But yes, I think he yarfs onto the Hidebehind, and then that's when he gets the demonic scream laugh that instantly sobers him as it disappears into the woods.
Yeah, exactly.
What if he yarfs in its growling mouth?
That's a little too
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just so delighted by the comedy of that situation, but it's not good for horror. Kill your darlings, everybody.
And then
okay.
So then after the basically he's left alone. He's then forced to walk back. Like he can see the lights of the town, right?
So
and
No. I'm sorry. Do your thing. I want you to do your thing.
This is gonna be a little bit silly, but it's he sees the lights. He walks a little bit the rest of the way to town and sees the sign, and it's Riverdale.
No. I don't ever want to associate with that shitty town again.
I think of that.
No, it's fine. So what if the loud ass growl did catch somebody's attention in the town, and maybe there's a couple people sort of on a porch looking out into the woods?
So I say, since we had this guy crash at the start, he comes stumbling out of the woods and is found by the local sheriff or police or something.
I'm into that.
Who have reports of a crash car but nobody in it and things like that.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And that gives us our perfect finale.
Yeah. And then he's thrown into the drunk tank.
Yeah.
No, fuck that. He has to go to a hospital first and foremost.
Oh,
yeah.
So he goes to the hospital, and then I feel like we really should just push this one home. He does know that he's going to jail, but he does think that actually might be better than being out in those woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better in a closed facility
it.
than out in the wild.
Yeah, bingo. Yeah, I actually really dig this one. I feel like going to jail is so infrequent a finale to these things that it's actually relatively fresh.
Yeah. Yeah,
so buy stock and going to jail.
Yeah.
Buy stocks and go.
Yeah, buy stock in new endings. Diversify your endings. Also, buy stock in jail because they are privatized facilities that are meant to make money.
Yeah.
True. So yeah, I think we've got a real seller.
Yeah, I think we did it, y'all. It could be a short film in its own right, and it's very much not Slender Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would actually love to see this as a short.
Yeah, no doubt. And it would be low budget too.
Oh yeah, because aside from
just
possibly
need, some carpet.
I was gonna say carpet or some some
a
have
bunch of
prop bear
Artowigs.
claws. That's really
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I would watch it. I'm sure that there are a lot of other interesting stories. So definitely Mad Money. The Hidebehind has potential.
Yep.
And a solid invest. It's probably our projection. That's how we'll do the numbers. Our projection is that the Hidebehind could reach at least a 4.525.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Those are our projections for the creature. That's our believed ability in the current market.
Definitely deserves a resurgence.
Yes. By now, the Hidebehind is probably right now like a -4 creature because no one fucking knows about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Buy now, and we'll get them points
Yeah,
in the market.
we'll make those monster bucks.
Monster buck.
Oh, that'll be our new cryptocurrency for this podcast. Monster coin.
Yeah, monster coin. Or what was that? What was the currency that monster seller guy from Breath of the Wild gives you? Money? Or something like that?
Monies or something like that.
Money.
Yeah, just straight up money.
Garlic coins.
God. Yeah.
Yeah, this was delightful. I do enjoy doing stuff like this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and like I mean, there's a lot of like material to work with the frightful critters or like the Appalachian, the other like folklore creatures, right? So
yeah.
Dog, totally.
and they definitely
There's so
need more like spotlight because like I feel like I love creepypasta monsters. Like I even have a guilty pleasure for Slender Man, at least the Slender vlogs that I used to watch.
Everyman Hybrid and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. But like nowadays, like. I think it's just the mass media has oversaturated that market.
Yeah.
Is really what it feels like. So, and especially with that stupid Sony movie coming out.
I mean, maybe it'll be good. The trailer did not look good. It missed
I'm
sort of the whole point.
Yeah, I'm finding.
Isn't it? I was just gonna say, isn't it supposed to be about like the girls that like murdered that one girl?
Sincerely
No, that's
hope not.
That's
Like,
the other movie. That's the other one.
Oh no, that's
okay.
Wait, what's that one?
A while.
that was the documentary you mean, right?
Yeah. That's the other one.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, well, this one, the trailer kind of reminded me of that kind of stuff, and I'm like, I really hope Sony isn't doing that, because that's a little bit of a low blow. Yeah, I know.
It is what it is. But creepypasta is definitely on the rise. Just like the success of Channel Zero proves that, and I don't have high hopes for Butcher's Block, but I did finish No End House like 2 or 3 days ago, and man, No End House was really good.
Yeah, I need to actually finish watching the first 2 seasons. I'm gonna check out season 3, but I mean, Al Dente's already covered my rant that was 45 minutes previously about what we did, or about my thoughts on the trailer for Butcher's Block. So
it's so bad. It's so bad. But yeah, that's you got that rant.
So yeah, this is the Hidebehind. This is Monster Stocks.
Do we want to do another Appalachian monster in the inevitable next time?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to do something like for the Canadian side, but again, aside from Wendigos, we actually aside from Wendigos, like I'm keeping that. I'm like basically filtering out Wendigo stuff. In Ontario alone, I was able to find a blonde-haired Bigfoot. And I don't mean he's all blonde. I mean his head is apparently blonde.
He's got a blonde toupee.
He's got goddamn, he's got blonde tips. Fuck.
Oh, it's the Guy Fieri of the Bigfoot world.
Shit. Leave it to Ontario to have that.
God.
But then there's the Toronto Tunnel Monster, which had a sighting back in the 50s, and has some cool like connections to other like urban legends around Toronto, like the secret UFO base that's under the lake.
What?
I like the sound of this.
Or the legitimately, or the actual in real life subterranean river systems that are underneath Toronto's streets.
That one.
So we'll do the Toronto Tunnel Monster. All right.
Yes.
Fuck cool. Yeah. Oh my god. That sounds so tight.
And it needs more love because, like, the only thing, like, it's on a bunch of cryptid wikis that I was able to look up, but, like, there's nothing really new aside from, like, the sighting in the 50s and then, like, some offhand stories that people have scattered across, like, the last decades.
Well, that is, I am down for that.
So,
Toronto Tunnel Monster.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Do our outros?
Yep, we'll do our outros. So if you like what you heard, and if you didn't, leave us a comment in the comment section below wherever this gets posted, whether it be on Kiwi6, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr. Yeah, so for you guys, what do you guys want to, what do you guys want to promote?
If you didn't like it, just be respectful. We're people.
Yeah, be nice.
Yeah, be cool on the internet, y'all.
So, Kyle and I
Hi.
do a podcast known as Maple Syrup Blood Money. It's about Riverdale, the show where they turned Archie into...
A very fuckable boy.
That's one word for it. So we do that show, and we talk about it, along with a bunch of other things that we go on to tangents about. So you should go check that out. We had Review Cultist on to talk about Afterlife with Archie.
It was fun.
That was a very good episode. We will definitely have to have him on again to do something during the next season break. Apparently, there's now a Vampire Veronica and a Jughead the Werewolf series.
Really?
So yeah.
Vamp Veronica is it's okay.
Have you guys heard of the cartoon series from the 90s or early 2000s? The Archie's Weird Mysteries?
No, I've never even heard of
I've
that.
heard of it, but I have not actually watched it.
I have a feeling that'll be our next
pretty good. It was
point
basically
to talk about.
It was basically Archie, but meets paranormal investigations. And I mean literally basically he's investigating Bigfoot and stuff like that, but they're actually most of the time they're not just Scooby-Doo things, they're
Actual
actually
monsters.
Creatures or ghosts and ghoulies. Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh my god, I'm so sold on that.
So we'll definitely have to talk about that sometime soon. And
on my own time, I've been streaming a bit on twitch.tv/bestpalbrigade. We do our own tabletop role-playing campaign there. It's a musical-themed fantasy world where all of the cultures are based on real-world music genres, and the cultures and fandoms that surround them, mixed with fantasy tropes, but not the really shitty, problematic fantasy tropes. So that's been a hoot. We stream that every Sunday. We were off for a while because of illnesses and vacations and the holiday season and stuff like that. But boy, oh boy, I'm excited to get back into it. So that's twitch.tv/bestpalbrigade or @bestpalbrigade on Twitter. It's a hoot.
And I do my own tabletop role-playing podcast known as The Role-Playing Exchange with my friends Adam and Chris, which we talk about role-playing games and have some actual plays on there. We're talking to Greg Solzy right now to have him on for another interview for a thing he is currently doing, so check that out.
Dope.
Ooh. All right. And that's it for you guys.
That's it. That's all I got. I got very little.
Contact on Twitter at all?
At Best Pal Brigade. That's me. I mean,
okay.
That's as much of a personal account as I have. I don't like Twitter.
Fair enough.
You can find my personal account at Common Otaku. That's KAMENOTAKU. And you can find the Maple Syrup Blood Money account at Maple and Blood, all one word, all spelled out.
Okay. And you can check out my Twitter at Review Cultist. And if you'd like if you want to send us an email, you can go to aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTIS@gmail.com, where you can also leave us suggestions for other peep pauses or other monsters that you think need more love. Because I'll then pass it on to these guys and see if they want to do an episode on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I have been your other ghost host, Kyle Carty.
And I have been the host that's hiding right behind you, Noah Garden.
Does the Hidebehind talk like a ghost?
Shut up.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.